So, what's the real difference between a video that looks kind of amateur and one that feels truly cinematic? You might think it's all about having a super expensive camera, right? Well, not really. The secret, and this is a big one, is having a playbook. A solid, repeatable process that lets you turn good ideas into incredible video time and time again. Okay, so let's look at two totally different ways of thinking about this. The amateur approach, it's basically just hit record and fingers crossed, we'll fix it in post. But pros, no way. They don't leave things to chance. They use a powerful method called reverse engineering. It's simple, really. You find a video you absolutely love, you figure out exactly what makes it so good, and then you build a detailed plan to create that same effect. See the difference? You're actually engineering a successful result instead of just hoping for one.
This whole professional method, it's all built on one core idea, the four-phase production framework. The best way to think about it is like a map. It's what guides you from that little spark of an idea all the way to a polished finished product. It's the structure that makes sure your creative vision is supported by a rock-solid plan. And that, right there, is the playbook we're going to walk through today.
All right, so here's our playbook for today. We're going to cover planning like a pro, lighting like a pro, coloring like a pro, and finishing like a pro. This is the whole blueprint. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, Phase 1, plan like a pro. We're talking about pre-production. And let me tell you, this is, without a doubt, the most important part of the entire process. I'm not exaggerating. A project's success or failure, it's pretty much decided right here, way before a camera is even turned on.
So, what's the most valuable tool you have in this planning phase? It's not the fanciest camera, it's not some expensive lens. Nope. It's actually just a document. But it's a document that becomes the blueprint for absolutely everything else. And that document is called a shot list. So what is it? It's basically a super detailed checklist that breaks your entire video down, shot by shot by shot. It's how you take a big, abstract idea, I want this to feel epic, and turn it into a concrete, actionable plan. This thing completely eliminates guesswork on set and makes sure you don't forget a single, crucial angle you need to tell your story. Let's actually break down what goes into a professional shot list. Take a look at this. Every single column here is a critical piece of the puzzle. You've got the shot number for organization, the shot size, like a medium shot, which helps define the emotion, the camera angle, even the movement. It's not just about what you're shooting, it's all about the how. A low angle to make someone look powerful, a slow dolly in to build suspense. All that detail means the entire crew, from the director to the camera operator, is working from the exact same playbook.
All right, with our plan in hand, it's time to move into Phase 2, light like a pro. This is the production phase where all that planning finally comes to life. And if there's one single thing that immediately screams professional versus amateur, it's lighting. It's a total game changer.
So, that leads us to the big question, right? How do you actually do that? How do you take a scene that's just kind of flat and boring and use light to give it depth, mood, and that cinematic look we're all after? Well, the classic answer, the one that's been the foundation for decades, is a technique called three-point lighting. And it's actually pretty brilliant in its simplicity. Think of it like a team. Your key light is the star player. It's the main, brightest light that sets the whole mood. Then you've got the fill light. This is your supporting actor. Its job is to soften any of those harsh shadows the key light creates. And finally, the backlight. This is what adds that professional polish. It creates this subtle little rim of light behind your subject, which makes them pop, separating them from the background. It's a killer combo.
Okay, so we've planned our shots, we've filmed them with great lighting. Now what? Now we head into Phase 3, color like a pro. We're in post-production now, taking all that raw footage and really shaping it. And honestly, the #1 tool you have for setting the mood and style of your video, it's color. But here's something that's super important to get straight. There are two sides to the color coin: color correction and color grading. Color correction is purely technical. It's all about making your footage look natural, balanced, and making sure all your different clips look consistent. Color grading, well, that's where the art comes in. That's the creative process of giving your video a specific look, to create a mood, that warm summery vibe or a cold sci-fi feel. So here's the easiest way to remember it. Correction is about making your video look right. Grading is about making it feel right.
When you look at the software pros use, you see the same few names pop up over and over. You've got DaVinci Resolve, which is legendary for its color tools. There's Adobe Premiere Pro, kind of the industry standard workhorse. And for Mac users, Final Cut Pro is a total beast. What do they all have in common? They are all insanely powerful. But yeah, none of them are exactly beginner-friendly. There's definitely a learning curve.
Drilling down a bit, DaVinci Resolve is pretty much considered the gold standard, especially when it comes to color. We're talking Hollywood blockbusters, high-end TV shows, they're using this. And the reason why is all about the tech under the hood. It has this Emmy Award-winning image processing that gives you just an unbelievable amount of control and quality when you start pushing colors around.
And trust me, people get really passionate about which software is best. I saw this quote on Reddit that just kind of sums up the whole debate. It says, using Premiere to grade is like using Microsoft Paint to edit photos. Now, okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it gets at a real feeling in the community that for super serious, high-end color work, a dedicated tool like Resolve is playing in a completely different league.
So you've got the plan, you've got the footage, you've made it look amazing, you're done, right? Well, not quite. The final phase, finishing like a pro, involves something that, honestly, a lot of creators completely forget about, and it's a big one, the legal stuff. Let's go all the way back to that idea of reverse engineering. This is where it gets a little tricky. If you just copy another video shot for shot, even if it's your own footage, your own actors, you could be in hot water. The law calls this a derivative work, because you're not just copying an idea, you're copying the creative expression, the specific camera angles, the editing, the timing. And that can be a big copyright problem. So what's your defense? Well, in the US, there's something called fair use, and courts look at these 4 factors to decide if your use is fair. But for creators like us, the first one is absolutely the most important: purpose and character. The key question is your work transformative? Did you add something new? Is it a parody? Is it a critique? Is it for education? Because just making a straight copy almost never flies. You've got to transform the original work into something new. And that really brings us full circle. This whole idea of a professional's playbook, from the detailed shot list to the perfect lighting and even the legal stuff. It might sound like a bunch of rules that box you in, but it's actually the complete opposite. Having that solid blueprint doesn't limit your creativity. It's the very foundation that gives you the freedom to create. It gives you the power to actually build your vision. So now you have the playbook. The only question is, what are you going to create?